Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Watson Michael from Ceylon Institute of English and Leadership. And once again, we're glad to have Mr. Dean Wantenaar back with us. So he's the Chief Sales Officer of Grivi and who counts over 2 decades of experience in the fitness and health background. So Dean, welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, Watson. It's good to be back with you.
Such an
I
honor to
appreciate
have
being here.
Yes, such an honor to have you back. So, Dean, these days, most of the people they don't understand the exact term of health and fitness. So, what are your views on health and fitness?
Yeah, good question. I think health and fitness is important that one makes it a part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, why I say it's important,
Yeah.
because it obviously attaches to mental state of mind, emotional well-being, physical well-being. So it's all interrelated into this vehicle that we call the body,
Yes.
which allows us to perform all the other activities and tasks that that what we want to do in life.
Yes.
It's the vehicle that takes us through life. So it's important, and it's important that the machine, that the engine is kept in good running order.
Mhm.
That goes from obviously some activity, flexibility, strength,
Yes.
and most importantly, controlled diet.
Yeah.
And anybody who has not taken care of that aspect of their life in terms of health and fitness was probably suffering from some of the chronic diseases like that we hear about, like heart
Yes.
issues, diabetes,
Yes.
cancer.
Mm.
So yeah, there's no way of getting away from health and fitness in my opinion personally. It
Okay.
has to be taken. We have to take notice of it, and we have to do something about it
Mm-hmm.
if we want to continue living on this planet in the best possible way that we can, and that helps us achieve all sorts of other things in terms of our work goals, our life goals, being a good parent, being a friend, a brother, a sister, a mother, whatever. You need a body to do that, and without it and without taking care of it, it's not going to happen. So that would be my view on health and fitness. It's that important.
Yeah, that's a very good one. So usually, I feel that morning exercises are better because we get exposure to sunlight. So I feel that's much better. But what are your views on morning exercises versus evening exercises? Because we understand some people don't have time in the mornings.
Yeah, it's also, I like this question because my whole life I've always preferred to train towards the end of the day.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I've done a lot of weight training in my life, so I've always felt like I have better strength. But as you know, now with intermittent fasting and things like that, a lot of science is showing us that it's actually quite good to train early in the morning after your, let's say people are intermittent fasting. Of course, the biggest fasting period is through the night. So that might come in. And of course, there's some pros and cons to both. But at the end of the day, Watson, I think it really is up to an individual. So some of the pros, of course, of getting up early and training is that it boosts your energy. It helps you establish some consistency in life. A lot of people like to start their day like that. Obviously, as I mentioned, helps with the weight loss, of course, because you kind of training at the end of a fasting period. But yeah, I mean, obviously for some people, it's a challenge getting up early. They're not feeling like their body's warm. For me, as I said, it's like I don't feel I have the right amount of energy. Not that I have a problem training in the morning, but if you had to give me a choice, definitely I'd prefer to train at the end of the night. I think for me, training at the end of the day is like stress relieving. It kind of sets me up for a good sleep, for a good night's sleep when I train in the evening. I mean, there are cases where you could overdo it. Like if you're doing a very, very hard HIIT workout, for example, towards the end of the day, that might actually overstimulate you and not allow you to sleep properly, because you'll get like an afterburn, what they call the epoch burn after that. But yeah, I mean, everybody is going to be different. So in that respect, I wouldn't dictate to anybody. I leave that, I would leave that individually to everyone. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different rhythm in that sense.
100%. 100% I agree with you, right? 100%.
Yeah, but there's pros and cons to both. And you just got to find your happy spot.
So
yeah,
I usually prefer morning exercises because for some reason the sunlight where it converts my fat into vitamin D, and throughout the day it keeps me happy and it enhances my mood. So it doesn't mean that every day I have a good day, right? So
yeah, for sure. And I know for me, when I have trained in the morning, mentally I feel quite nice sometimes, especially if I've had a stressful day. Then I'm thinking, oh, I'm so glad I did the workout in the morning. And it's out the way, and I kind of can tick that box and check it, and it's out, it's done. And it's, if you're feeling tired towards the end of the day, it's quite a nice feeling to say, I'm glad I got that workout in the morning. But again, it's going to be different for everybody. Some people look at the training in the evening, going to the gym in the evening, as the reward for a hard day's work. So they're rewarding themselves, and that's the mental kind of stimulation they'll play with themselves on that thing.
Absolutely, 100%.
Is that, hey, I deserve to now go and have a good workout in the gym because I've done a good day's work, and that's their reward mechanism, and it works for them mentally. Then go for it.
Very true. Very true. Totally, I agree with you on that. So these days, like, it's a very interesting topic, right? People are complaining like, okay, look, I don't have time to do this exercise, I don't have time to walk, like they keep saying so many things. So I read in this Robin Sharma's one of his books, right? He says, if you don't have time for exercise, keep time for illness. So what are your views
It's
on,
a
like,
very good quote.
yeah, it's a very good one, right? So what are your views on, like, people like complaining about they don't have time to exercise?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what the problem with people when you talk about, I don't have enough time, is they don't realize that it actually doesn't take a lot of time. I think a lot of people who are not, into physical training or health and fitness, they think that maybe they have to dedicate lots of time to it. But I think, as you and I have spoken over the time as friends and got to know each other, I've even mentioned to you that some people don't realize they only have to train maybe 3 times a week, 40 minutes. So that's, if you add that up, it's 120 minutes a week. It's only 2 hours of physical activity a week. And that could be in the form of walking, jogging, stretching, just simple stuff. But they would be in the upper sort of 8th percentile of the world in terms of actually doing physical activity. Because there's a very common story we used to tell when I worked at Fitness First about what is, we had a course that we say, what's the biggest competitor? What is the gym's biggest competitor? And everyone would say, it would be another gym or this gym, or a club, a volleyball club, or a swimming pool club down the road. And it wasn't the right answer. The number one competitor to the gym is the couch. And it's just the couch, the TV, the pad. You can add all those in now because they are big factors. There's nothing worse than living a sedentary lifestyle. If you want to die quickly, want to die young, just do no exercise. So think carefully about, keep using the excuse, I don't have time. You don't actually need a lot of time. As I said, if you're doing 2-3 times a week, you are a whole lot better than more than 50% of the world. Just be a little bit active, get a little bit active, even if that means you're only doing a half an hour walk 3 times a week. You're better off than the vast majority of the people on the planet, because the couch, the pad, the computer, the TV, it is the number one competitor to a gym. For sure.
100%.
And I mean, the science is out there, anyone can go and find it, but living a sedentary lifestyle, meaning you just always sitting in a couch or sitting in a chair in front of a computer or on a pad, increase of course, obesity, diabetes, stroke, cancer, heart disease, everything. because you're not getting the blood flowing, you're not getting the blood to the organs that need it. You just, it's a machine and it needs to have activity. It needs to be tweaked every now and then at work, you know.
Very true.
Even your posture gets affected by the fact that you just like sedentary lifestyle. It's the number one killer, really, I think.
100%. Posture is very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are your recommendations like for people, let's say, like maybe let's say they are between 30 and 40 or above 50? So, what are your recommendations like for them, like how to exercise and keep themselves fit?
Well, okay, just my personal experience.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everybody, but I'm 56 now. And for
Okay.
me, let's say I've got 5 things that it wouldn't change
Okay.
in any routine that I did. So I'm not doing anything different now at 56 to what I was doing at maybe 30 years of age. But
Okay.
the only thing, as I think I mentioned once to you before in a discussion, is that my recuperation time as I've got older has definitely reduced. But I'd say there's 5 things that anyone doing any kind of regime should focus on. The first one is any form of cardiovascular activity. So, you know, aiming to do some sort of moderate or high intensity cardio exercise to keep the heart pumping, keep the blood flowing. That could be anything from walking to jogging to cycling to swimming. Just, you know, get the heart moving. The second one, which for me is very vital, is strength training or weight training or pumping iron. The science is out there that weight training definitely contributes to reducing aging because it increases the density in the bone. And of course, as you get older, what you lose the most as you get older is your strength. You start losing strength. The third one would be core exercises. That's to do with the core within your abdomen and back. Everybody knows that if you have a weak core, you tend to suffer from back problems and posture problems and all the rest of it.
Sure.
The fourth one would be flexibility. This was something that I must be honest, I neglected a lot when I was younger. I pumped too much iron and didn't do enough flexibility. But as you get older, of course, that also deteriorates. So you need to be flexible. You need to do a lot of flexibility exercises, stretching, yoga. This also reduces, of course, the opportunity for you to get more injuries as you get older. And then the last one, which I think is relevant to everybody today, is a focus on mind-body exercises like yoga, tai chi, and things like that, you know. Because I think the world is a little bit more stressful. Bad news especially, travels a lot faster.
Yes.
We are a lot busier. Knowledge is very, very much at your fingertips.
Correct.
Good and bad knowledge. So yeah, breathing, little things like, you know, just meditation, breathing, absolutely vital to your thing. And I think a lot of the time we forget that mental well-being is just as much a part of health and fitness as it was to physically exercise and eat properly, you know. But it's quite a simple combination. Watson, eat, you know, eat properly, get a moderate to good amount of exercise, and get enough rest and recuperation, and de-stress from a mental point of view. And I don't know, barring any hereditary issues from your family before you should have a relatively healthy life.
100%, right? You need to look after yourself. Eat clean, exercise well. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So, what are your views on multivitamins?
I must be honest, I've taken them my entire life. There have been moments where I think I've spent far too much money on these things.
Okay.
I've given the supplement industry a lot of my income over the years, for sure.
Right.
But I must be honest, I do think it is essential. I mean, come on, we're not getting exactly every single bit of essential supplementation out of our diet as we should. Maybe the quality of our vegetables, the meat, etc. We know about all these things.
Yes.
So I think it is essential to supplement in some form or another. The only thing I would say around that is that what you need to do is find a supplement brand
Yeah.
that you've had a good amount of research on, that's
Yes.
got a lot of good reviews, or
Mm.
let's say constantly good reviews over the years.
Yes.
Okay. I won't punt any brands on your podcast at this
Fair
stage
enough.
for legal reasons.
Fair enough.
Just find a brand that works, get as many reviews as you can on it. Obviously, you'd have to find one that's within a good budget range as well, because some of these are extremely expensive and they're just not
Yeah.
affordable in some cases,
True.
especially with exchange rates and things.
True.
And then stick to that, and stick to the basics.
Yeah.
It's basically boils down to your minerals, your irons, things like that we sometimes lacking in the diet. So a
Yeah.
good amount of magnesium, calcium, folic acid, essential amino acids. Just keep your supplementation around there, the omega-3s if you don't eat a lot of fish, and don't get it from other vegetables. You just stay with that. Yeah, that would be my advice to anyone taking supplements. I mean, I've eaten protein shakes all my life since I was 16.
Wow.
I must say, there have been times when I thought, geez, I need to stop this and just like try and go without them for a while. The only thing I must be honest, I noticed was my nails got very weak after I stopped the protein shakes. As I got older and I kind of cut them out of my diet,
Yeah.
my hair, my nails definitely were a lot weaker. So there must have been a lot of calcium and stuff within those products that I was consuming,
Yeah.
that contributed to that. But it's not for everyone. Whey proteins are not for everybody. A lot of people get upset stomachs and things like that, or allergies because they're just susceptible to it. So I'm not saying it's for everyone, but yeah, that's one of the things I noticed when I did cut it out of my diet, was my nails got quite weak. But yeah, I would say just find a brand that's good, get a lot of reviews on it, make sure that the reviews are good, they're honest, and that it fits within a budgetary range that you can afford, and then just stick to those.
Absolutely. Very true. So
Yeah.
even I used to take these certain multivitamins like between 1 to 3 months for fitness reasons. Right. Great. So, Dean, any final message to all our viewers how to keep themselves motivated?
Yeah, just before I answer that question, you just, as you said something, what you said now, you reminded me of something about supplementation, especially products that come out of the States. You'll notice all of them say they're not approved by the Food and Drug Administration. But
Okay.
I find with the stuff that comes from the States, the dosages are really high in terms of what you need on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So in order to help with the budget, sometimes as a tip to the audience, Watson, is that they could probably sometimes halve the dosages that are recommended on the product, and actually double the sort of duration of the supplement that they're taking, because you don't need that much on a daily basis. If you look at some of the dosages in some of the protein shakes and things like that, you don't need that amount per day. Especially for, not unless you're this massive bodybuilder, or a football player or something like that. So that just as a tip for the viewers on that, I would want them to know that you can halve those dosages and kind of get double the mileage on that product.
Very interesting point. So it's always good before you buy something to read the values, whatever is there.
Check the dosages. I mean, they're telling you they want 2 scoops. You don't have to. You can maybe put 1 scoop, and you're getting more than enough supplementation. And also, don't forget, that's why it's called supplement. And that was another thing, maybe to answer the last question, is it's called a supplement for a reason. So it's not a replacement. It's not a meal replacement. It's a supplement. It's to supplement a good, healthy, balanced diet that you should already be on. And that's very important. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. So for all those watching, keep time for exercising, have a healthy diet, and when you need to take a multivitamin, just go ahead and take it. So Dean, thank you very much for taking time from busy schedule and doing this podcast with us.
Thank you, Watson. And I want to end off with a quote that we had at Fitness First.
Sure.
That stuck with me all these years.
Sure.
A healthy mind starts with a healthy body.
Absolutely. So a healthy mind starts with a healthy body.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me today. It's been wonderful.
Sure.